and share with you a little bit about what I'm doing this afternoon. I meant to do this morning, but to be honest, I fell asleep and then it just got too hot in the day to do this. So now that it's a little cooler and there's not direct sunlight on this baby, we're gonna come out here and harvest some elderflowers. Now I'm not gonna take all of the flowers off of this bush. One, because I can't reach all of them, and two, because the flowers will actually turn into berries once they, at the end of the season. So we're just going to take a couple of heads that are already fully in bloom like this and like this. And what we're going to do today is just take these and dry them and use them for teas. I may make some elderberry syrup with these babes. See, that one's just now getting ready to flower. Isn't it pretty? I'm also gathering some honeysuckle today, but all of these things with the elderflower can be used in cooking or made into teas or made into like syrups or wines. Elderflower is known for having a really delicate and a very sweet flavor. And it just tastes really good. So not only are you getting some of the health benefits that come with naturally eating things that the elder trees provides, but it's also just a really tasty snack as well and super refreshing. So I'm going to gather these up and I'll let you know what I decide to do with them later. Before we get back to the elderberry content, I wanted to show you all this really awesome bramble bush or blackberry bush we have growing here on the homestead. What's really cool about my practice here at the homestead is I try to do things as intuitively as possible. My brain was saying, hey, we need to get rid of these because this would be a nice path to the creek area over here, but then also to this little field that I think we're planning on growing wheat and those types of things for the chickens. And so my whole goal here was to trim all of these back and to get rid of all of these little sticker bushes because I thought that they were just sticker bushes. Now, I don't know if it's just because we didn't live here last year, during a time when I felt like I had extra time to go out and explore and look around and see what the farm had to offer. But my gut just kept saying, hey, no, you don't want to cut these down. So, and I'm excited that I listened to my gut because look at all these blackberries. Look at them. There's going to be so many blackberries, and this isn't even just, like, this is just a small patch. Like, out over there in the area where we have the chickens, like, so many. This little piece of property, I mean, it's 11 acres, but it's 11 acres of just all types of really cool things to experience and to explore, and really just discover. It's just incredible to me what every time I come out here to look around or, do my hippie thing and commune with nature and do my little druid drumming, I find something just equally amazing. And so that's one of the really cool things about intuitively working with your property instead of just looking at what you can do on the internet, letting your gut, letting the spirits of the land guide you, so that so you can be set up with all this yummy goodness. Like, there's so many, y'all, that I would have enough to not only feed and preserve things for ourselves, but I mean, there's plenty of berries for the birds, there's plenty of berries for the wildlife, there's plenty of berries that we can let our chickens nibble on over there. And like, that's awesome. That's free food right there. I didn't have to work for it. I'm not going to have to work for it. All of this is new growth that's popping up in here. And like, what a blessing. So definitely, if I could encourage you all to get back to the whole rewilding thing of just listening to your gut when you're out in nature, like, there's so many benefits to that. Even as I'm standing like right here, just kind of looking around, I know I've showed you all this blackberry bush like 15 times, but like right here, this is polk root. And while I'm not going to personally eat polk root because I don't know the, like, I don't know all the ratios and dosages and everything that make it toxic or whatever, but those berries, y'all, those berries, you can make like super magical ink with them. And the leaves traditionally, especially in the Appalachia area, would have been used in salads. This is like a huge lymph drainer, all kinds of like really cool stuff with this plant. Now again, like I said, it's toxic unless treated in the right way, and I don't know the right way to do it, so I don't eat any of it. But last year in the fall, when this bad boy was like had all of these little berries and everything like that, I dug up the root and I've used that for a lymphatic oil. We actually used it when we were super sick, and it really helped with drainage of our lymph nodes. So take that with a grain of salt. I'm not a medical professional whatsoever. I'm just a nerd that likes to read a lot. But just so many things. Like, people may look at this and think, oh my God, they do not take care of their property at all. Like, this is insane. But in reality, like, this is nature doing what nature does best. And it's providing not only for itself, but also extra for us by letting it kind of like do its thing. You know, without me doing a whole lot of work. So definitely worth it to intuitive garden, to intuitive homestead, to do anything with your intuition. It may not look like what everybody else does, but that's okay. It's right for you all. So, all right, back to some elderberry content. It just occurred to me that maybe you all would want to know how to actually get these flowers. So I'm not taking the whole head. Like, if you see I have these little buds that haven't quite bloomed yet, I'm not gonna mess with these whatsoever. But there's this little part of the head, and I'm not gonna cut it either because there's a nice little bug on it, and honestly I don't need it anymore. But so this little head here, where it has, like, I think basically all of them have bloomed, they're ready to go, they're about to, like, they're dying off a little bit down here. That's okay. This is the one that we want. So I take my trusty scissors, because, you know, everyone has a pair of Walmart garden scissors. They're not even garden scissors. They're just regular old craft scissors that you just shove out in the garden, right? Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here. Like, if you look, the stem, okay, so you have this up here. I've already cut one. I'm just going to go over and cut the other one and then leave the other two alone. This will still stimulate future growth. I'm not damaging the plant a whole lot. I'm not doing anything that's going to be like super harmful. I'm just going to go in, and if you see, oh, he's moved to another plant. Okay, so I'm just going to go in and just snip right there. So, and then you just use that to fill up your basket. You honestly, if it's just you and like maybe your family, I don't think that you would need a whole lot more than this. Elderberry flower can really be stretched to go a long way. So it's not like you need a whole bunch to bring that flavor out for teas and things like that. However, if you're planning on doing a lot of cooking, planning on setting a lot of syrups back for the winter, all of those are immune supportive desserts. I like to think that they're desserts, snacks, treats, whatever. Those are all immune boosting treats that you can have in the wintertime that will help keep your body from being susceptible to any colds and that kind of stuff. So if you do plan on doing a whole bunch, you might want a little bit more than this, but again, like my last video, use your intuition. I'm done for the day with this. This is all I need. And I may come back later for more once it, once the plant starts blooming a little bit more. So, all right, let's see what else we can get into. All right, so I've got my elderberry flowers. They're in my little basket that I got actually at the trash center for free. They do a recycling program. So if you're in Scott County, Scott County, Indiana, this is a shout out to the Scott County, I guess dump, but waste management place. They have a reuse recycling store that you can go to, and I actually got this for free there. So how cute is it? It's perfect for harvesting, and I didn't have to spend anything. All right, so I have my elder flowers here, and I have my dehydrator here. So there's multiple ways that you can dry these flowers. Many people will just take the flowers off of the stems because you don't want to dry them. You don't want to dry the stems to put in the teas. You just want the flowers. But some people will cut them off the stems, put them in a brown paper bag, or put them on a screen, like a drying screen, and place outdoors. Others will dry them upside down and then just tie like a mesh or like a paper sack around them. So when the flowers dry off and drop, they just drop in the bag. Makes it real easy. Or you can use a dehydrator. I don't have a lot of space that is herb friendly for me to just hang the herbs around. Now that's not necessarily true. I just don't have a lot of dark spaces where I can sit and dry my herbs. We put a lot of windows in this house when we were remodeling it. So what I'm gonna do is cut the flowers off by the stems and then put the flowers in my dehydrator, which is covered with like a cheesecloth. It's actually a flour tea towel that I got from the Dollar General. They were like 3 for $2, and if you cut them up, you could end up with 6 of them. So it was a really good deal. I ended up with like 24 cheesecloth type flour sack things that I can use with my herbs and stuff for like $3. It was really cool. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop these up, put them into the dehydrator, set them on low, and then let them hang out for the rest of the night. All right, so now we have the elderflowers in the dehydrator and they are doing their thing. While they're doing that, before I get to the whole tea making process that I'm hoping to be able to do later this evening, I wanted to share with you some books and resources that I personally use here on the homestead. This is not an extensive list. This is just what was upstairs. I have way more herbal guides and those types of things down in the basement. I just was too lazy to go get them. I really like Thomas Culpepper. Culpepper's Complete Herbal. It is not a new book by any means. I actually don't know when this was published, but it was like from a 17th century astronomer physician. So it's not an updated book whatsoever, but I really like his descriptions, and I like getting the information from him and going and referencing that. So let me stop being such a spaz here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So it starts out with what the elder is and then gives you the Latin name, of course, tells you where it grows, what the description of it is. But what I think is really cool is he goes into depth in like the government and virtues, where it's under the dominion of Venus. It kind of tells you different elements that it's involved with, what you can do with it, the importance of cooking or boiling the berries before you use them, or anything like that. So I really like his book. I got this for 50 cents at a thrift store, so they're not super expensive. There are different versions of this out there. But Culpeper, for being a 17th century guy, he has good information. Another book that I like to do, since I'm really into, if you can't tell, I'm really into the whole Druidism and getting back to my Celtic roots. I really like this Druid's Herbal of Sacred Tree Medicine by Ella Everett Hotman. She goes in and talks about all of the different trees that are associated with the Ogham, or Ogham. And what I like about hers is that she gives all of this generalized information at first. And then there's different stories about how culturally elder would have been used, what it was referencing to, all of that stuff. And then she gives herbal uses, and it's not just from a like Celt or European perspective. She also shares information about how elder would have been used in North America. She gives some cautions, she gives some spiritual aspects. Elder is super associated with the fairies, which is really cool, because this month in my women's group, we are learning about Anya. In my Rooted Druid, women's Rooted Circle, we're learning more about Anya, which is a Irish goddess of, she's Queen of the Fae, and we're going to be learning more about her this month once I get my act together. So lots of cool information about her, or about the Elderflower in there. Just two more for you. So this guy here, the Woodland Bard, I found him on YouTube just randomly. Really like his stuff. Really like his stuff. He is an intuitive bard who takes the information that he's learned from the, from reading and cultural stuff, and then uses his own gnosis, his own inner knowing, to formulate these beautiful poems about the elder or about different trees. So he has a beautiful poem in here about the elder. It's very beautiful. This is definitely worth it if you want to learn more about how to connect with a plant, especially plants that are associated with the Ogham, more closely. It gives them more of, I feel, a personality. You're not just using them for herbal uses, you're actually building a connection with them through stories and how your ancestors would have worked with the plant. Now, we've all been to different thrift stores, and I'm a thrift store mania, but there's plenty of places that have, plenty of thrift stores have like a medicine section, and I guarantee you they're going to have an herbal drugstore or some kind of herbal book like this. Now again, I don't use this as like my herbal Bible. I cross-reference everything that I read, but I like this book because it's quick and it's easy, and it can give me like good direction pretty quickly. So if you notice here for elderberry, there's not a lot of information here, but automatically looking at this, like, okay, I know that I can use elderberry. This is what it's for. I'm going to put this stuff back, and learn more about it and learn how it can help treat colds or the flu, or bronchitis or any of that kind of stuff. Like, I'm going to learn more about it, but I know that this is useful. I can use it. It's great. Here we are. So I like this as a quick reference, especially if I'm suffering from something like a cold, which happens a lot, especially in the spring and fall. I like knowing that I can just look this up, and this is elderberry. Okay, I can use this for that. So super helpful. They have an index, just like any other kind of reference book. But I do really like this. And again, I cross-reference the crap out of everything. So please don't think that these are like the end all to be all. Like, go get your own books and cross-reference them yourself. But these are just a few of them that I like to use. So, all right, well, I'm gonna go check on the chickies and run a few more errands. I'll come back hopefully later tonight with a nice cup of tea.